So early in the program, we are talking about people who speak truth to power. This is a wonderful story of a tech writer and tech entrepreneur who is speaking power to power, and in fact, speaking power and saving power for power. Sarah Lacy is apparently a tech columnist, and the strain, of libertarian techies is really, it's really just, I would describe, and I am certainly willing to take a phone call at 646-257-3920 from any libertarian techie who wants to refute this. But it seems to me that the difference between the libertarians who usually call this program and one who is sort of an internet entrepreneur is that the internet entrepreneur is generally a little bit more intelligent and also a little bit less politically inclined. And so they're really just shooting off the hip. They're basically like a smarter Adam Carolla, is what it comes down to. And Sarah Lacy seems to fit that mold quite well. She runs the internet publicity site, I guess tech publicity site, Pando Daily. It's like a gossip thing, right?
She used to be a writer at TechCrunch.
She also does PR consulting.
Yeah,
okay,
but then
right,
she went over and started Pando Daily. Yeah.
Okay. And apparently she is very, very upset, or was very upset with the BART strike, where the employees of the mass transit system in the Bay Area, out in San Francisco and Oakland, went on strike. They've since come back to work on a 30-day extension. And she is talking about how she wants someone to disrupt BART. In other words, wants a technology that will make mass transit, or this mass transit system, I guess, change the paradigm. And there is a way to change the paradigm. It's to make it bigger. The fact of the matter is that the paradigm is mass transit. Mass transit is mass transit. Could these things be improved upon? Yes, indeed. Just like every other institution that exists.
Usually in the tech world, when they say something like that, in terms of the BART strike, it usually means, let's find a way to automate this so we don't need these menial workers
Right,
anymore.
I guess, indeed. But this is what she told NPR. If I had more friends who were BART drivers, I would probably be very sympathetic to their cause. And if they had more friends... Now, I just want to contemplate that for a moment. In other words, I really only decide who's in my social circle, and that's where my empathies lie. But I'm not in that social circle of people who are making whatever it is, 65 grand a year, I don't know what they make in San Francisco, who are trying to have a middle-class life, who we trust with the lives of literally hundreds of thousands of people daily. I would probably be very sympathetic to their cause. And if they had more friends who were building companies, they would probably realize we're not all millionaires. We're actually working pretty hard to build something. Now, I don't know what the implication is that she thinks that everybody who's building a company, that all the BART people think that everybody who's building a company is millionaires. But there's certainly a ton of millionaires in San Francisco, in the San Francisco area. Certainly, you can see the rise in the price of all sorts of goods, particularly housing in San Francisco, as an example over the past 20 years. We're actually working pretty hard to build something. People in the tech industry feel like life is a meritocracy. You work really hard, you build something, you create something, which is sort of directly opposite to unions. Now, I understand that she has no friends, obviously, who are in a union. And she doesn't realize that unions built the infrastructure. Members of unions built the infrastructure of just about everything she uses in her daily life. The phone system, the internets, the cars that she drives, the roads that she drives on. Just about everything that she uses in her daily life was built by a member of a union. Now, she also, because she has no friends in any unions, apparently doesn't realize that people who work in unions also work hard and also value hard work. And this meritocracy she speaks of. Now, she went to Rhodes University, a private, small liberal arts college, probably not too different than the one that I went to. I don't know whether or not she took student loans out or not. I don't know if she realizes that only that the percentage of people who get to go to a small liberal arts college is infinitesimally small in this country. And I find it hard to believe that everyone who were there is really there based solely on merit, not the capacity to pay, not the luck of who they were, whose family they were born into, not the opportunities they had because of those families they were born into, not because of the color of their skin or because of the relationships that their parents had forged at a time when there was far less competition, not the value maybe that their parents had to send their kids to college and then send their grandkids to college because they worked at a union and built the middle class. You know, PR is not something that strikes me as a profession that is completely divorced from who you know. And it's not who you know. Like, you don't go into PR because you know a lot of people who dig roads or drive buses or work in the subways. That's not what situates you for a job at PR. What situates you for a job at PR is to hang around with wealthy people who are VCs, who have had the opportunity to get an education that allows them to be in a position to learn new technologies. It's just grotesque. Look, I have no problem with people being ignorant, but to have the immense nerve and chutzpah to parade your ignorance in such a fashion, to parade your lack of empathy, which is really rooted in a fundamental ignorance about the way the world works. To parade that around, I think is just reprehensible. So I don't know what it takes to build a PR company. But apparently what it takes, part of it, according to Sarah Lacy, is a complete disdain for anybody who is, well, you have to appreciate people who are making, six figures. But anybody below that, forget about it. It's those people 6 figures and up. We're not all millionaires. And, you can Google her and see the pictures of her home, wherever she lives. Quite nice. Quite nice. Not a millionaire, maybe. Doing quite well.